Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Geek Centurions. It's me, your boy Eli,
It's me, Joe.
and we're here to talk about more about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We missed out last time, and now we're back with two episodes 3 and 4,
Yes, 3 and 4.
and there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, definitely. Quite a bit to talk about this week. A lot of stuff happens in these episodes.
And we're only 2 episodes away from ending it.
Yeah, and that is indeed very interesting considering where we are by the end of this episode. The latest episode, episode 4. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting how we wrap this up.
Yeah, and we'll start off by talking a little bit about episode 3, give a quick discussion about that, then we'll go to episode 4 and give a quick discussion on that, and basically, say what we think where this story is going. So, Joey, why don't you start us off by giving us a rundown of what happened in episode 3?
Well, episode 3, we obviously come back to we start off with Bucky and Sam heading to this prison. I believe it's in Germany because everybody's talking German.
Mm-hmm.
To talk to Zemo. Bucky goes in alone because he's pretty much like, I don't think Zemo's gonna trust an Avenger. It's got to be me.
Mm-hmm.
We have that. I think we kind of have a connection, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Bucky, lays it on the table. Like, listen, someone.
You don't like me, and I don't like you.
Yeah,
and
like
Zemo's like, but I like you.
it's like
Is that what I mean?
No. Listen, right? Here's the sitch, right? Someone's recreated the super soldier serum. I need to know who did it. To which, like Zemo's like, okay, so you're coming to me because you're desperate. I see.
Yeah, you're desperate, and so we lead to like this whole like intricate and kind of a too easy way for Zemo to get out of jail, and we have a bit of a scuffle between not a big one but a little one with Sam and Bucky about should we have let this guy out? I don't think it was a good idea to let him out.
To be fair, like Bucky initiates his escape plan, and Sam doesn't know about it until later.
Yeah,
because obviously they do it they edit it in a way where we just cut to Bucky and Sam just at this warehouse or whatever, talking about Zemo, and it intercuts to Bucky essentially explaining Zemo's escape plan, which I do kind of agree. It is a bit like surprising how well that actually works. But I mean, I guess they're just thinking that Zemo came up with the plan and he's smart enough to do it. I guess I don't know, but essentially Zemo sort of walks in and is like, "Wait, you mean to tell me you actually everything you were saying you actually did that? God damn it, this is not a good idea."
like God damn it, Bucky, we discussed this.
Listen, all right, if we were gonna do this, you should at least let me know. But Zemo definitely is sort of like, I'm going to agree to help you guys because obviously Zemo is very much against the idea of super soldiers. Heck, he pretty much got rid of all the other Winter Soldiers besides Bucky in Civil War, so he clearly does not like a certain group of people being in charge of things, especially powerful people. So he's more or less like, I'm willing to help out. I think I got some contacts that might lead us in the right direction. And it's sort of like, turns out that, Zemo lives up to his Baron part of his name, and he's actually fucking rich as hell.
Yep. I mean, he was always rich in the comics, so, I mean, there's been a discussion of whether or not, was this a retcon or not. I'm just like, I don't really care. It's Zemo.
Like, because here's the thing, like, it feels like they don't make it a retcon. I think it doesn't. I don't think it falls under the term of a retcon. It's more of like information we just didn't know. Because obviously when we were introduced to Zemo in Civil War, like all we knew is that he was part of the military of Sokovia, and then obviously he blames the Avengers for what happened to Sokovia, which he's technically not wrong, right? So. All we knew is that like his family died and he was like the only one left. So whether or not he was rich and stuff, we don't truly see that stuff. But given the fact he's able to like, travel to all these places pretty in Civil War and stuff, and set up some of these plans, I guess it wouldn't be that big of a stretch that he's actually secretly loaded. Like, but yeah, it is kind of interesting. Although there might be some people that like, then why didn't he just get out of bail or whatever? It's like, well, I don't think they have bail for international criminals that kill a fucking leader of a major country. So
yeah, I was gonna say broke a well-established superhero team too.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty positive you don't get bail for that.
Nope.
So, but yeah, no, they travel on his jet to this
to Madripoor, which is, if you're an X-Men fan, a very well-known location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I assumed it was a comic book location, but I had no idea it was actually tied to X-Men.
It's a very well-known comic book location in the Marvel universe, and it's been mostly associated with like X-Men. Yeah.
Okay.
Does it mean we're getting X-Men? No, it doesn't.
Probably not, especially not in this series.
No.
But yeah, no. So they travel to Madripoor, where
Madripoor.
Madripoor.
Yeah, Madripoor.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a made up name. No one cares.
I mean, yeah, I know it's a made up name. It's very hard to pronounce. I barely get Sokovia right half the time. But yeah. So they go undercover, trying to be looking like criminals. Bucky has to sort of don back up his Winter Soldier getup a little bit, just because they need to convince people that, hey, we need to meet this Shelby woman. And Zemo is sort of like banking on, I have control over the Winter Soldier technically, right? In order to get access and like talk to this lady.
And they made Sam like some random well-known guy.
Yeah, they made him look like another criminal known as, I think, Smiling Tiger,
which is a comic book character in the Marvel universe.
That I also did not know. That's actually really funny.
Yeah, no, I was like, when I heard Smiling Tiger, I was like, why does that sound familiar? And I did a quick Google search. Oh yeah, yeah. We're not gonna see this guy in a while.
That's really funny. But yeah, okay. So they Bucky sort of beats up some of the guards at this bar they're at, just to sort of convince. Yeah, no, we need to talk to this lady, right? So they go upstairs. They meet Selby, who I'm gonna assume who looks like a pretty well-established gang boss, right? And also knows Zemo pretty well. And they sort of discuss. Obviously, Zemo comes out like, "Listen, all right, I need to know I need to know who made the super soldier serum. I know there's some super soldiers out there. I want to know who did it, and I need to know where they are." So she's sort of like, "Okay, that's interesting.
Yep.
Like, what do I get?" And he's sort of like, "I'll give you the Winter Soldier. I'll give you all his command codes and everything. All right." He's like, "That's a solid deal. All right." So we get the name of the guy who recreated the super soldier serum. I believe his name is William
something.
William Nager. No, it's something like that. His last name is Nager. Yeah.
I think it was Nager. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, but anyways, it's like, yeah, he's here. He was hired by the Power Broker to recreate the super soldier serum,
which is a very well-established villain in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I do know that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and obviously it's like, listen, you don't want to be messing with the Power Broker. There's even shots like when they're in the Madripoor. Madripoor.
Yeah, close enough.
All right, but there's establishing shots where we see graffiti saying the Power Broker's always watching. So Power Broker is definitely, a pretty big deal here.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously knowing that, even Zemo is kind of like, I've heard about this Power Broker, and, they seem to be kind of a big deal. I feel like we should watch out for this guy.
Yeah, we should not draw attention to ourselves, which is immediately ruined because Sam brings attention to everybody.
Yeah, because he gets a call from his sister, and he tries to play it off.
Plays it off badly.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really work, especially since his sister calls him Sam, and everybody goes, Sam, that's not your name. It's like, ah, shit. So
it's like, you could have just said like, I'm currently in business. I'll talk to you later. Only for her, and maybe she'll scream and be like, sorry, that was one of my, you know how it is.
Yeah, it's one of my associates. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Sam clearly, especially drinking that weird snake vodka thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's definitely not like, this is way out of my element. I have no idea what I'm doing. So they have a big gunfight. But Sam, Bucky, and Zemo get saved by a familiar character.
Yeah, Sharon Carter's back.
Yeah.
And she's pissed.
She's hella pissed. She's like, Zemo,
Super
what the
pissed.
fuck are you doing out of jail? Why are you two here? And it's like, listen, all right. There's super soldiers. We got to stop the Flag Smashers. Zemo is our only lead.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And Sharon Carter is obviously also pissed because essentially she stole...
She got screwed over a lot.
He kind of got screwed over by helping out Cap and Sam and Bucky. You know, she was essentially... I mean, it's mentioned in previous episodes that she was exiled. Well, she had to go on the run because the U.S. government was like, you can't be stealing our tech like that. Mm-hmm. Right? And now she's hiding out here in Mandarinpur to... And, you know, it's essentially become a bit of a criminal herself.
Yeah, she's got a lot of stolen artwork. Yeah,
she runs a stolen artwork gallery thing where people come, have parties, buy artwork and stuff.
Zemo does a little dance.
I mean, yeah, there is a party because Sharon does agree to help them out a little bit in trying to find...
just keep it low.
Yeah, just chill out at the party, stay low.
Yeah.
I'll figure out if I can find this dude you're looking for.
You know what's even funny? Like, so this episode came out like a week ago, right?
Yes.
A lot of people really found it funny when Zemo was dancing.
Well, he clearly was like...
Yeah.
He was doing like... He was not...
He's doing a stereotypical white guy dance.
Yeah, he's not good at dancing, but he was enjoying himself because he's
and like
I'm laying low.
the actor Dave Grohl was like, he had to improvise a dance scene, and that there's like an hour cut of that, and like people were this they did a Zack Snyder cut version of this where like
it was released the Zemo cut.
Yeah,
right?
released the Zemo dance cut.
Yeah,
and it actually got released in like under a week.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess it's just like, I guess. People at Marvel like to have fun with that stuff. Yeah. It's like there's no harm in releasing like an hour of footage of just Dave Grohl just dancing.
Very bad. I wouldn't say badly.
Well, I mean, not really dancing with rhythm. I guess.
I guess it's the right word.
Yeah, but basically by the end of the party, Sharon finds information on the dude. He's just hanging out in some storage container at the docks, and they go meet him. Sharon provides a bit of security in case, because she's very much like, listen, all right, there's a bounty on your head because
you done fucked up.
I think I forgot to mention, but Shelby gets shot.
Yeah.
So, there's a bounty on everybody's heads now, and they need to get the hell out before they get killed too. So while Sharon provides a bit of a cover and security, making sure patrolling the area, making sure there's nobody around, Sam, Bucky, and Zemo interrogate William, right? And sort of figure out that he originally was attempting to recreate the super soldier serum. He was tasked by the CIA to do it. And he was, and obviously that's where we get the joining of Isaiah's blood, because he was working with Isaiah's blood, essentially. And from there, he was able to, recreate, or at least was close to recreating it, but then he got dusted. The snaps happened, and then when he came back, the CIA had essentially, and I think the government had essentially moved on from trying to recreate the super soldier serum, because obviously they lost their one dude who was able to do it right. Well, I guess to be fair, I think I forgot to mention the other part. Like, he was originally hired by Hydra, because Hydra was trying to recreate it. Yeah, Hydra was trying to recreate it, but then when Hydra got fell apart, he was picked up by the CIA to continue his research. Right, in a very similar style to how the U.S. government took in a lot of Nazi scientists to help with the space program.
Yeah, and basically how I'm forgetting his name, but the main scientist guy who created the super soldier serum, came in because remember he used to work for Hydra. Now he came to work for the U.S.
Oh, you're talking about Zola, right?
No, not Zola. The other one, the guy who made the serum.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He wasn't he wasn't a Nazi though.
But he was working under Hydra. He was forcibly working.
Oh, right. He was forcibly. Yeah, I forgot. He was also he was forcibly working under Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Stanley Tucci's character. I can't remember.
Not Stanley Tucci.
That was Stanley Tucci.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the guy who held Tony in the cave.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about him. Yeah, but yeah. Getting back on topic. William reveals that he essentially, with the help of the power broker, finally got the funding necessary to fully recreate the super soldier serum. But then Carly stole the vials and used it on herself and some other people. And now he's sort of hanging out here, trying to create more.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, but he does mention during the interrogation that he doesn't have any more with him right now. Carly took essentially like about 20 vials.
Mm-hmm.
So there's potentially 20 super soldiers out there. Potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And he does at least kind of know where Carly is. Kind of, because Carly does contact him in order to see if he can help save a woman that she knows. Doña Marina, I think?
I want to say something like that. I'm about to double check right now.
But yeah, Doña is her first name. But obviously they sort of like they get that name, but by the time course Madani, yeah. But of course, while this is going on, obviously the bounty hunters have shown up, and Sharon is just doing her goddamn best to hold them back.
Yeah,
like she definitely.
Which can I say, like, this is at this point of the show, it's getting very like sort of not close to, but we're edging towards more of like how brutal the Netflix shows were.
Yeah, because there's like that dude. People are getting shot, stabbed. Like, yeah, it's getting pretty intense here.
Yeah, like this is like their closest they'll ever maybe get to R rating.
Yeah. Especially because there is something that Bucky does in this episode that I'm like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, basically, after essentially hearing all they kind of they can get from William, Zemo shoots him.
Yeah. Because
obviously he was gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
Because Zemo is very much against the idea of super soldiers and various superpower beings and stuff. Yeah. So he's very much like, I'm getting rid of the dude who has active knowledge and has the ability to recreate the super soldier serum. Yeah. So I'm gonna get rid of him. And obviously the guy's like, God damn it, we could have still gotten info from that guy. And of course, the whole storage area gets exploded by a rocket, and pretty much everybody's just sort of trying to hold out, and Zemo sort of looks like he escapes but comes back to rescue
with his goddamn mask.
Yeah, he gets his mask from the comics, which they sort of like show a little bit when he's getting like earlier. Yeah, he sort of grabs it from like a car. But yeah, it's kind of neat that we do get to see Zemo masking it up, because in the comics, Baron Zemo is mainly seen in his has like a supervillain costume, and he has like this iconic purple mask. Mm-hmm. And we didn't see that in Civil War because
they wanted to do it, but they didn't have time to like put it on there.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like they just couldn't like find a good spot to like have him put on the mask. But it's definitely nice to see here. Mm-hmm. And I kind of forgot that. Oh yeah, right. I forgot Zemo has military background, so it makes sense for him just to be shooting up dudes. Mm-hmm. And of course, they're able to at least escape. Sharon's like, listen, like, because essentially the whole reason why Sharon was helping out was because Sam promised to try to get her pardoned, especially because he's like, listen, if we could get Bucky, who's murdered a bunch of people, pardoned, I feel like we can try to get worked for Hydra and everything. And he's sort of like, no offense, all right. But Yeah, basically she helps him escape, and she sort of like tries to do some. She goes back and like kind of like has to work out like, all right, how am I gonna have to fix this mess you guys made? And meanwhile, we sort of I think get scenes with Carly.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like obviously like the woman that she wanted William to save. Doña Marina
Doesn't make it.
doesn't make it. She dies. And she's kind of upset about that. She starts stealing. She steals from another of these global replacement centers. She steals a lot of food and supplies from them. And yeah, she sort of kind of goes in a little bit of a...
Yeah, she turns full supervillain here.
Yeah, she definitely does something that like... Because we do have at least somewhat of an explanation for her actions in that she feels that essentially... Because she was, you know, she lived in a Madrid Repeat, right?
Yeah.
She lived there, and she had a stable home with Doña Marina and a lot of these other people that are part of the Flag Smashers. But then when everybody came back, they got pushed out of their home. So, you know, she sort of like sees, you know, these global replacement centers and like the people running them as sort of like people who are abusing their power and stuff. And that's sort of like her motivation, essentially, to strike back against them. However, this is definitely the episode where she definitely crosses like a big line. I.e., she sets up a car bomb and explodes, destroys a bit of a building, and sets the place on fire. And one of her companions is like, "There's still people in there," and she's like,
"They'll only understand if we do the extreme, basically."
Yeah, she basically sort of justifies it like, listen, they did shitty thing to us, and they won't understand unless we strike just as bad, like strike back just as hard.
And he's like, holy shit.
Yeah, he definitely has like a Jesus Christ. And, you know, yeah, that building is basically, you know, blown up, and we do get in the next episode that, yeah, definitely some people died in that. But yeah, I believe that's where the episode ends off.
No, you're forgetting one important thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so when they reach the place,
they find
Bucky finds
Sam tells Torres to find Doña Marie, and he does, only to find out that she's dead, and she died in someplace in Eastern Europe. I forget the exact location. So essentially, Zemo reroutes his plane. You know, they go there, right? And they sort of find a place to hide out for a little bit before searching the city for Carly and stuff. But Bucky
notices a little thing and starts wandering off.
Yeah.
There we find Ayo, one of the Dora Milaje from Black Panther.
Yeah, one of the royal guards of Wakanda.
Yeah. And that's where the episode ends, and everyone was like, "What?"
Yep, definitely.
And we know she's there because of Zemo.
Yeah, because obviously the Wakandans know that it wasn't Bucky that killed King T'Chaka.
Yeah.
It was Zemo. So obviously him breaking out is big news because, you know, he's Zemo. So, yeah, the Wakandans are definitely like, why the hell did this guy get out?
Yeah, and that's where the episode ends. And really, I feel like this is one of the more slower episodes. Also, we forgot to mention that John Walker is having issues trying to get people to talk.
Yeah, because he goes to the place where Carly was originally in Germany and tries to get people to talk. And they are very much like, no.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, one of them even spits on him. It's like, do you know who I am? It's like, I do. I just don't care.
Which literally, never say, do you know who I am? Because that never works.
Yeah.
It never works. It's like, you just got spit on and you just coming back with that. It's like, dude, he knows who you are. It's like.
He probably did that because he knows who you are.
And it's funny because, like, and we can talk about this later. How everyone's like, see, everyone doesn't like John Walker, but I'm like, yeah, but no one in these areas like Steve either.
I mean, yeah, like I mean, obviously, like I'm pretty sure like there's more reasons to not like John Walker besides that he's the new Captain America. It's more or less because he is a Captain America that some of these people don't like him.
Yeah, and we'll talk about more of that as we go on. But I feel like this episode was very straightforward out of compared to the other episodes. 'Cause the other episodes had like a lot of interesting stuff going on. This one was more like, let's see Zemo be Zemo, because that's really what everyone like took out of this episode.
Yeah, no, it's sort of reestablishing Zemo a little bit, and it's kind of cool to see, obviously, because Zemo we saw like essentially in Civil War we saw the tactician slash mastermind of Zemo in Civil War, like him orchestrating the breakup of the Avengers and all this other stuff. Here we get to see Zemo in more proactive role of going around and actually like slugging it out, which I think is the interesting aspect of Zemo, is that not only is he a good soldier, he was like an excellent soldier, he's a mastermind. He excels in both areas. So it's good to see that we still have that that characterization and seeing that more in the show, which I really like, especially because I think the one aspect with the MCU that was always sort of like the big like thing is that we never get like villains have always been like either okay to like, granted we get like standout villains like Loki, Thanos, and stuff, and I include Zemo as one of those standout villains. But at the same time, a lot of those villains are sometimes like okay to like forgettable, and most of them usually just die. So it's nice to see that the one like sort of the one big villain like Zemo is just sort of around and actually being able to do his thing.
No, I'm 100% with you, because that's basically, you know, the whole idea that I've always said, like, you shouldn't be going off killing your villains. I know it feels more cathartic when the villain dies, but like, these are well established characters who have a long history. You can use that and have them come back and be more of a threat. And people are gonna be like, "It's better if you just kill them." Like, yeah, but then you can't have a lot of the cool stuff like you're having right now.
Yeah, and I also just think that, yeah, to that extent of I guess people arguing for villains dying off, I will say that I think part of that reasoning is just because, like, I don't know, I guess like it makes sense in a comic world because obviously you want to keep your villains and you want to keep using them in different stories, but I guess in sort of in movies and stuff, it would get a little potentially tiring to see. Like, why don't they just simply kill him, right? Yeah. Like, why continue having a villain running around and doing all this crazy shit, right? I mean, again, granted, it's probably the same argument like a lot of characters get, especially with their villains in comics, especially with Batman's. Like, why does he just kill Joker? Like, clearly the Joker's like can't be redeemed even at all when he does all this crazy shit. Why don't you just kill him? And it's like that's not what Batman does, right? But I would say that this episode very straightforward, and
it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I think of course the highlight is sort of seeing like Zemo in action and like being able to do his thing, and I also just do like the fact that we are getting more characterizations for John Walker and Carly, and we even like sort of get like the hint of potentially one more character, the Power Broker, potentially being a big player in this because, like he's the whole reason the Super Soldier serum came back, and he's probably pissed that some random girl took all his serum, and I mean that definitely explains. It definitely explains that the group that was hunting them down in the last episode, the Flag Smashers, were hired by the Power Broker, who, you know, clearly wants his shit back.
Yeah, no, it's you can already tell that this is gonna be leading to a big competition, which you have to question yourself. This is gonna end in 2 episodes. Well, by the time now, it's just 2 more episodes left. How are you gonna like tie that all together? And that's really the big question now.
Yeah, because it does make me wonder if, because I mean we can discuss this a little bit more after we talk about the next episode just sort of makes me wonder, like, how exactly is Power Broker gonna factor in this series if they will at all, besides being sort of a looming threat for the Flag Smashers.
Yeah, so really I can't really say much because more I want to say is on the next episode. So let's get on to that one. So give us a rundown of episode 4, which really brings a lot to the table.
All right, so episode 4, we start out pretty much like in a flashback. I'm pretty sure we started in the flashback.
Yeah, we start with a flashback with Bucky and Ayo of the Dora Milaje. You know, them helping clear, Bucky of his whole commands.
Yeah, they basically help deprogram him from all the Hydra stuff. And it is a bit emotional because obviously by the end of it, like, Bucky's like, I don't know, and I was sort of comforting him, like, listen, all right, if anything bad happens, I got you, right? There's a bit of a bond there, and of course she says all of the commands. Bucky doesn't turn into Winter Soldier mode, and she's like, you're free now, and he sort of just breaks down crying because Bucky is now a free man, essentially. He no longer no longer has the Winter Soldier persona in his brain, and no one will ever brainwash him ever again, essentially, which is it's nice to see that sort of moment, right? And then we sort of cut back to modern day where she's sort of like, why the hell is Zemo free and why are you with him? And it's like, listen, all right, I understand, he killed your king, I get it. And it's like, listen, but I need him. We're trying. He's an ends to a mean. All right. And she's sort of like, even so, we giving you like 6-7 hours, and we'll be here for him. And sort of, Bucky's like, all right, that's fair, I guess. Mm-hmm. So he returns back to, I guess their little hotel lounge house, whatever, where they're staying at. And sort of Bucky's like, all right, so
how are we doing this?
Well, first he's more like, yeah, so the Wakandans are here and they want Zemo.
Which, I'll be honest, I was surprised he was like just straight up said it. Like, hey, by the way, guys, they're outside. They want to kill Zemo.
Yeah, they're here and they want Zemo. And it's like, well, I guess it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, but they're always like, okay, we have a bit of a timetable here. And obviously it's like, okay, well, we got to find where this Doña Marina lady was, and we got to ask around, see what's going on here. So they go and check up on this shelter. Obviously, they sort of they split up to try to
go more ground, ask more people.
Yeah, and it's very clear that no one wants to talk to the Falcon, to Sam.
No,
like he's trying to fucking talk to these kids, and they just keep walking. Like they just keep walking out of the room. It's like, hey, wait, God damn it! It's like, excuse me, do you know anything about Donya? I don't close the door. Oh,
I just have an honest question.
Yeah, like I just want to know if you've seen this woman or whatever. It's like, oh, geez, God damn it! And he does sort of meet with like a teacher. Yeah. And he sort of gets a bit of a rundown of the situation. Yeah. Obviously, where basically it's like, listen, I just want to know where she is. All right. And it's like, listen,
we want to help you.
We want to help you, but we can't trust you. Yeah. Like it's like, I know who you are, I just can't trust you. Mm-hmm. Because he even explains that, like, the GRC, as I'm going to call them, because it's just way too long of a name, right? It's like we were supposed to get more teachers, more supplies. The GRC promised that, and it's been 6 months, right? Right, which is sort of giving context as to the thing that happened in the last episode where they raid that, where Charlie and the Flag Smashers raid that area. I think she even mentions in that episode, like, you've been holding out on this for 6 months. Why is that? And it's like, they don't get an answer. Yeah. But meanwhile, Bucky is also having very little success. But Zemo, he's a bit of a man of the people. Yeah. And by man of the people, I mean
He gives candy to children.
He gives Turkish delights, and if I learned anything from the Chronicles of Narnia, is that Turkish delights
We're pretty good.
Are pretty good, and will convince any child to tell you what they want. So that's what he does. He sort of sits down, singing a little bit of a little children's song,
which makes it a little creepier.
Definitely makes it creepy.
Definitely makes it creepy.
But he is a villain, so
yeah, you gotta give him that.
Yeah, he lays down all the candy. He's like, "Do you want one?" to this little girl, and she sort of takes it, and it's just like, "Listen, all right, I have a good friend. Her name's Donya.
Yeah.
Do you know her?" It's like,
good.
Yeah. It's like,
listen, I'll give you a kiss of candy, but you gotta help me out here.
Yeah, I'll give you and the other shit on one of this camera. You just gotta tell me where the funeral's gonna be. And she sort of like whispered it in his ear. It's like, okay, all right. And he sort of like gets up and he sort of like points to both Sam and Bucky.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like watching in the distance, like, what the fuck is he doing?
When Bucky was like that the whole time, I was like,
I don't
like where this is going.
Yeah, I don't like this. And he's sort of like, those two are bad men.
Yeah.
Don't trust them. All right. And he's sort of like, yeah, I understand. Okay. And he sort of just like, they sort of reconvene back at their hideout essentially, and Bucky and Sam are like, I got nothing. Nobody wants to talk to us. Zemo just goes,
I got all the info. There's
a funeral today, later this afternoon. Carly will probably be there, and they're like, all right, tell us. It's like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna. He's like, essentially,
Zemo.
Yeah, essentially Zemo's using the information as leverage, but yeah, essentially, yeah. I'm assuming, I forget what the reason was, off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm blanking out too.
But basically, yeah, Zemo is like, I ain't gonna tell you guys. Potentially, I'm assuming because I'm guessing it's more. I think I know what it was, because he essentially wants in on getting to Carly, and obviously we know pretty well that what he's gonna do if he gets a chance at her.
Oh yeah,
he's probably gonna kill her. And it's like, no, we need to and Sam's very sort of like, we need to reason with her. All right, from what I get and from what I understand, she is trying to help people. It's just that her methods are not the best, especially because the team knows that she definitely blew up that place. And at least 3 people died. One of them being a dude who's only been there for a week with a wife and kids. Which is like the news segment about it just highlights that out like very blatantly. Which it's kind of, I feel like it's a bit of a commentary on how like the news likes to single out a lot of things to make it sound a lot worse. But 2,
it also tells you how fucked up that was.
Yeah, it kind of also just says that Carly just killed a bunch of people who probably didn't even have that much to do, had a whole lot to do with why the people at her little place are suffering.
Yeah.
Especially if it was just a guy who's only been there for a week. Like, clearly
that was probably the same guy who couldn't answer the question.
Yeah, potentially. Like, he's like, I don't know. I've been working here for a week. Granted, he doesn't say that, but like, potentially he might.
At that point, you're like, I can't reason with her.
Yeah, and Zemo, of course, is like, we can't reason with this woman, with this girl. She's a super soldier, and she's too dangerous to be kept alive.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, no, we gotta like figure some way out. She still can be pulled back. Yeah. Right? We can still bring her down. Like, she's radicalized, but she's not too far gone. Yeah. And of course, and then like Sam sort of calls Sharon. Yeah. For another favor, essentially just to like see if there's some way to like keep tabs on Zemo, or at least give them like a bit of a bird's eye view, if you will. Yeah. Of the situation. And she's sort of like, all right, I have a satellite or 2 I could potentially use.
And you're just like, what?
Listen, I mean, like, I guess she makes a lot of money selling art, I guess. Yeah. People will pay for a vintage Van Gogh, I guess. They will pay a lot. But yeah, as it turns out, they sort of agree to, I guess, Zemo's terms for now. Yeah. And he leads them to the funeral. But of course, John Walker and his good friend Battlestar, Lamar, show up like, hey, listen, all right, God damn it.
You let Zemo out.
And why the hell is this happening? And it's like, listen, all right, The only reason why we let Zemo out is because he has leads on Super Soldier Serum, and we know, and he now knows where Carly is. All right, and we're gonna go there right now.
And they're both like, "Are you sure?"
It's like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "Listen, I'm positive." Right? And Zemo's like, "My contact is here," and it's just a little girl. It's just like, and John Walker and Lamar just look at each other like, "What the hell's going on?"
like I know a lot of people are giving shit to those two, but I'm like, I'm kind of on their side. I'm like, I don't know about this.
It's like, why the hell does he? Why the hell does he? He's getting his information from a little kid, right? And of course, the little kid leads them to the funeral procession, and John, like, it's sort of John Walker's like, "I'm going in," right?
Yeah.
It's like, no. And Sam sort of gives the same spiel he was giving he gave to Zemo. Like, listen, there has to be a way to bring her down.
Yeah.
I can talk to her. I talked to veterans who were having like issues.
Yeah.
From the war and stuff. That's my thing, and I think I can get through to her. And Lamar's sort of like, let's give him a chance, right?
Yeah.
Let's give this guy a chance, and if it doesn't work, we'll go in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's sort of like John sort of agrees to that. And they sort of go in. They're sort of just hanging out like in a room like that's in the building where the funeral is being held.
Mm-hmm.
And John Walker essentially gives Sam 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To try to.
But he's impatient as fuck.
He's definitely impatient. I mean, he also just handcuffs Zemo, just in case he tries to do anything crazy. But of course, if anything, John Walker himself is very close to doing crazy things.
Yeah.
This episode. So yeah, like, he sort of goes. Sam sort of watches over the funeral happening, and Carly is giving choice words.
Very, very choice words.
Yeah, being sort of like, we need to be, one world, one people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And after the funeral's over, Sam is able to go down and talk to her. But Carly sort of saw him, like, I guess viewing from a balcony or whatever. It's like, I knew you were here. What do you want? It's like, listen, I'm just here to talk. It's just me, myself. All right. I want to know what this is all about. All right. So they have a bit of a talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
They sort of, Sam sort of understands, at least he's trying to like reason with her and stuff. And we do get a little bit of insight, right? Like Carly is very much in sort of like, no, these people wronged me and they need to be stopped, right? Like tons of people who are having issues with that. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, I get that. Like, I'm pretty sure like my sister's dealing with that stuff as well. Mm-hmm. But like, he's sort of like,
there's a better way.
Yeah, he sort of lays it down as like, listen, I understand what you're fighting for, and I don't disagree with you. It's just that your methods are just way out of line.
You killed a man.
You've explicitly gone out of your way to actively harm and kill people at this point. You're going down a road that you won't be able to come back from.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like, listen, all right.
They started it.
I gotta fight back, and if that means I have to kill people, then that's what I gotta do.
And he's like, no.
Yeah, but that's not the way.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a cycle of violence.
Yeah, it's a circle of violence and stuff. But we do sort of we obviously we cut back to John Walker. It's just like, I can't wait any longer. I'm going in, and it's like Bucky's like, listen, dude, it hasn't even been 10 minutes. All right, just calm down.
It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, we and Bucky tries to stop him, but it's sort of like John continues forward, and essentially they sort of like walk in. He's like, Carly, you're under arrest, and Carly's like, you lied to me. It's like, listen, all right, calm down, like, calm down. Listen, you still talk about this, and obviously Carly starts to run, and everyone sort of like chases after her. We also cut back to where Zemo was being held, handcuffed, and he's gone now. Mm-hmm. He escaped the handcuffs because, of course, no one was there to watch Zemo.
No one.
Yep. And as everybody's sort of trying to chase down Carly, like everybody's trying to go after her, Bucky and Sam, with and everybody's sort of splitting up. Carly seems to almost get away, but then she gets shot by Zemo.
Yep.
And also, I guess, almost forgot to mention this. There is a bit of a scene earlier, like right
Mhm.
before the funeral, where we find Carly and one of her associates. I don't know his name.
I don't know either, but he's apparently a big Cap fan.
Yeah, like they do have a bit of a discussion, a bit sort of like just questioning like whether or not. Well, because the main thing is that they're at this this tombstone where they've hidden the rest of the super soldier formula.
Mm-hmm.
Like there, and she sort of Carly's contemplating about should I be making more people super soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
To which her associate is sort of like, listen, all right, if like my grandpa always said, like if you felt scared about doing something, that means you're probably doing the right thing. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're probably right. And they sort of do have a bit of a conversation about Cap in general.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like, yeah, he's her friend is like, yeah, you know, I was a big fan of Cap as a kid. You know, he made me feel like there was a lot of like
good in the world.
Yeah, and you know, now I feel like the world's too complex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like we can't rely on like heroes to do stuff without dirtying their hands anymore, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Carly sort of just kind of goes on a little bit of a
fuck you, Captain America.
Yeah, kind of. Essentially, sort of like that shield is a relic of a bygone era, and personally, if I could, I would destroy the shield.
Yeah, which I'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'll get into that.
No, I mean, to be fair, she's technically a bad guy in this show,
Mm-hmm.
so very much
Mm-hmm.
in line with that thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because she still has all the vials on her, and when she gets shot, like her bag comes off and like all the vials are spilled, and Zemo's about to put her down, and then he sees all the vials on the floor. Is like, is this what I think it is? And then he just starts to destroy all the vials.
Yep, he's stomp happy.
Yep, he throws them on the fucking wall. He stomps on them, and Carly, like, while she is a super soldier, she's bleeding out, so she can't really do much. Which, I mean, I kind of like. I was gonna assume there's probably gonna be some people's like, why didn't she try to stop him? She's a super soldier after all, and it's like, yeah, but she has a bullet in her fucking gut. All right,
she's still bleeding.
Yeah, you know, like if I've learned anything from like the other episode where one of the super soldiers would literally just ran out of like a fucking all those vans that were full of people with fucking guns, is that super soldier or not, bullets are still gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Carly's able to escape with one of her friends, and John Walker stops Zemo from, you know, essentially he's like, ah, shit, Zemo escaped, I gotta stop him, and he sort of knocks him out with the shield.
Yeah,
and he sort of sees that all these vials have been broken except for one, and he sort of
always
like,
one.
Yeah, and he sort of just looks at it, does a bit of a head turn, like you know that, picks it up, pockets it. And Sam and the rest of the dudes sort of get on the scene and is like, essentially, you know, like Zemo destroyed all the vials, you know. And we cut once again back to their little hideout, where Zemo's sort of like just nursing his headache because obviously getting hit in the head by the shield is probably really painful.
Pretty painful if you're just an ordinary guy.
Yeah, and Zemo starts to get a little bit of like, I guess, philosophical.
Yeah.
Right. You know, he's sort of like, listen, right? Can I ask you? You know, he asked Sam, like, you know, like, if you were given a chance to take the serum, would you take it? And he's like, Sam's very much like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, very interesting answer. You know,
no hesitation. And from there, we have a bit of a conflict with the Dormelage.
Yeah. Well, first of all, John Walker and then Lamar walk in.
Yeah.
And are like, listen, all right, we're here to bring Zemo in.
Like, this is a bad idea. We saw him talking. We saw him being really too friendly to a little girl. We gotta get him rid of him. No.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly
It's not that.
That's not the primary reason.
That's not the primary reason.
But obviously, it's because he's an escaped criminal and he needs to be put back in bars. And they're very much like, no, we still need Zemo, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Carly's still out there. And of course, this is where the, the Darja Malar.
Dormelage.
Darla Malarge.
Dormelage. Just the Royal Guard.
the Wakandan Warrior Guard
Yeah.
show up and are just like, we're here to take Zemo in. And John Walker's like, listen, all right?
We can talk this out.
We can talk this out, all right? First of all, I don't think you guys have a jurisdiction. He's like, we have jurisdiction wherever we are. And it's like, okay, well, maybe we're on the wrong foot here. Let's just, let's be friends. And he sort of tries to tap one on the shoulder, and she very much is like, fuck you. And they start beating the shit out of him. And then, like, at first, like, Sam's like, Bucky, you gotta do something here. It's like, you're doing great, John. It's like, Bucky. It's like, fine. And then he sort of helps John Walker out. And, of course, Sam gets into the fight as well. And meanwhile, of course, Zemo escapes. Because no one's watching him. He's sort of like, okay, then I'm just going to go in this room now and escape. And, the fight sort of ends with John Walker sort of being like, they weren't even super soldiers and I still got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
And I think Okoye, right? Io, right.
Okoye is the one from the movie.
No, I know. That's why I mean, he's like, yeah. She's able to disable Bucky's arm and like hit it in enough ways to where it dislocates it or like drops it off. Which, I mean, to be fair, I'm like surprised they have a conversation. It's like, did you know they could do that? It's like, no. And it's like, they made that. I'm pretty sure they know what to do with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, his arm is Wakandan tech, so I don't know. But yeah, anyways, they find out that Zemo escaped because there was a hidden hole in his little bathroom or whatever. And yeah, now it's sort of like, okay, what are we gonna do now? And meanwhile, we cut back to Carly, who's recovering her wound, and it's like, hey, we gotta do something about Sam and Bucky and all these other people, especially since they get a fucking a text message from the power brokers like, listen,
I'm gonna fuck you up.
I want my ship back, and if you don't give it back to me, you're all gonna die. And they're very much like, listen, we can't fight two different enemies at the same time, all right?
Yeah.
And she's like, listen, I think I got a plan, and I think it might work. All we need to do, because essentially her sort of her thinking is now, I want to focus on killing Captain America.
I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, but mainly just that there is a way to get rid of Sam. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and that's where we find out that Carly calls Sam's sister.
Yeah,
and she sort of like essentially more or less threatens her. It's like, listen, all right, I want to talk to your brother. I'm gonna send you the coordinates to where we'll meet with him. You know, I feel like you and I have some very similar qualities.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like, I'm pretty sure you would probably be upset if your brother, if you know that your brother's working with the new Captain America. And she's like, Sam would never do that. Like, I mean, listen, if you won't get me in contact with Sam, maybe I'll just come over there and meet with you and your kids and stuff. Which is very sort of like,
that's super villainy.
Yeah, that's definitely a villain thing to do.
Yeah.
And obviously, Sam's sister calls Sam and is like, all right, listen, you guys just go somewhere else, take the kids, just hang out for a bit, lay low, pay with cash, don't let anybody know where you are. And I won't let anything happen to you guys. And like Sam's very much like, all right, now she's gone too far. You threatened my family, threatened my sister and my nephews. We gotta find this chick. And like he's sort of like, she wants me to go alone, and Bucky's like, no, I ain't letting you go alone, not this time.
Yeah.
So they sort of they also get like Sharon to like keep an eye on for John Walker and stuff, and we also get a scene where it's John Walker and Lamar's are just like hanging out, recovering from like their fight with the Wakandan Royal Guard. And John's sort of very much sort of like talking to Lamar, being like, if you were to take the serum, would you do it? And Lamar's like, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah. And
they sort of get into essentially, like very much like Lamar sort of comforting him and stuff, sort of saying that, if we had that serum, we would have probably saved a lot of lives back in Afghanistan and stuff. And like, John Walker, because obviously, he feels like he's realizing that it's a lot to live up to Captain America.
Yeah.
Right, and he constantly just tries his best to do to do good as much as he can. And Lamar's like, hey, you won like 3 Medal of Honors, man. You did great things. It's like,
yeah, but don't you remember how I earned that?
Yeah, like all the shit we did in Afghanistan, a lot of people would probably say that wasn't like, that we didn't do a whole lot of good there. Right, and it's like, I mean, yeah, but like if we had that super soldier serum, man, we would have been able to save way more lives. And it's like, yeah,
you're right.
You're right. So of course, from after this we have
the meetup.
The meetup, right? Sam's very much like, hey, listen, you've messed with my family. You're going too far, Carly. And it's like, listen, Sam, I don't want to fight you because I don't really think you're an enemy. I want you to join us. Classic sort of like, okay then. But of course, Sharon alerts Sam, and therefore alerting everybody else that, we're getting info that John Walker and Lamar are coming in hot. And it's like, oh god damn it, we gotta make sure Carly doesn't escape. So a big battle ensues, and some of the Flag Smashers capture Lamar and tie him up for a little bit. Meanwhile, John Walker sort of like battling out against various of these Flag Smashers, gets into a bit of a struggle with one of them having a steel pipe, and that's when we learn, because Sam walks in seeing him, twists the pipe bar, or the like twist it around, to which both the Flag Smasher goes, oh shit, and Sam's like has this very shocked face, like
what did you do?
Yeah, he's like, what did you do? And John's like, there's no time to explain. I just need to get. They have Lamar somewhere. All right, so they go after.
They have my boy.
Yeah, they got my sidekick. They got my sidekick.
My best friend.
Yeah, my war buddy.
Yeah.
So they sort of go out. Bucky's doing his thing. Lamar escapes from being tied up, and they all essentially meet up in this one big sort of courtyard area, just battling it out. And then sort of Lamar is able to come in with a save because Carly sees her opening to try to kill Captain America with a knife. And Lamar stops her. He's sort of like, but then Carly punches him. And so hard that he hits a pillar.
Yeah.
And he sort of just lays there, and everyone stops.
It's like, oh shit.
Like, oh shit.
We just killed someone.
Yeah. Very much so, and John Walker is...
Like, that man died of a concussion.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it was more of that man literally got probably his brain... Well, not splattered, but he definitely hit that thing so hard that it's probably his neck cracked or whatever.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, John Walker's like, Lamar, hey, come on.
Don't do this to me.
And I was like,
don't do this to me.
Yeah, it's like, you can get up, right? And pretty much like all the Flag Smashers start running away.
Yeah.
Sam and Bucky are like, oh shit. And John Walker is very much like,
oh fuck no.
It's like, you killed my boy.
You killed my best friend. Because you can clearly tell already they're like, and I'll go into this more, but Lamar, Battlestar, is kind of like his conscience.
Very much, like, like, again, we'll get into this a little bit later, but it definitely, like, Lamar is very, very much like, is the one to, bring him back down to earth, right? He's the one that helps comfort him and stuff whenever he's doubting himself. Like, no, you got this, man. So, yeah, John Walker is now pissed and starts chasing after one of the Flag Smashers. One of them being that Captain America fan we were mentioning earlier. He essentially runs him down and sort of like on these steps.
Jesus, beats him with the shield. And as soon as, like you said, like, well, before he gets to he's like, keeps throwing him, knocking him down.
Yeah, with the shield and stuff. And he's like, listen, I didn't do it, man. It wasn't me. Like, I didn't kill your friend or whatever. And it's like, doesn't matter.
Yeah. He's already, he's in a mood.
Yeah, he's very much like, don't care. I got one thing on my mind right now. Vengeance. Yeah. And he lifts the shield and starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he kills him.
Oh, he's dead. Definitely dead.
And this is in view in public because Carly manages to see it.
She's like, "Oh, what have I done?"
Like, oh god. You know, and
yeah.
Sam and Bucky also see like, Jesus Christ, and like there's this just a crowd of people with cameras recording.
With a 4K camera, by the way.
I mean, is it 4K though?
It is.
I mean, how would you know?
Everyone's been saying it's 4K.
I mean, okay,
whatever.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, yeah, a bunch of he's basically murdered a man, beat him to death with the shield in front of a crowded, populated area, and he sort of just like looks around and sort of like, what about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we see the last shot of the shield just sort of caked in blood.
Yeah,
and
which is, I was so excited when I saw that. A lot of people, if you know, I'm a big Captain America fan, and I already knew who John Walker was, and seeing this made me go like, holy shit, we went there. I am in. Not saying I'm like into that dark and gritty shit, but like for what we're doing with his character, I'm in.
Yeah, I get your what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
That like, okay, we're going there with this character. We're actually like gonna go full on. This man is willing to kill like people and like do very like not Cap things as Captain America.
Because that's John. That's Okay, because that's John Walker's thing. Is like he wants to be like Cap, but he's, you know, he's someone who will go across that line. So this is like valid. This is him being who he is as a character. And it's not only that. It was just it's such a chilling shot. It's just like it made me go like, holy shit. Like I enjoyed the way that was presented. I'm not saying it's a good thing that he did, but it's like, damn, that was a good scene.
Like it's good in terms of
story.
The consequences that it will have in the story. Because obviously, I'm gonna assume the next episode. I'm pretty sure the U.S. government isn't gonna be happy that their new Captain America has brutally murdered a man in the public view. And they'd be like,
but you know what would be kind of cool and really fucked up if they like brush it under the.
Yeah, they try to like hide it.
Yeah,
right? Like,
or like, you know, they try to justify it
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would also be very interesting, but this will definitely be, and that's where sort of the episode ends, obviously. And I think that's sort of like this might lead to a turning point, so we're like, oh hell no, we got to take that shield away from him. He's not Captain America. Yeah, this man's not Captain America to us.
And like, so when I said that I have an issue with Carly's whole that shield is a relic of a bygone era, you clearly did not pay attention to like what that shield and what Captain America has done for the people. And I'm willing to let it go because even in the past in these movies, and a lot of people tend to forget that, because I've seen chatter where like the guy who spit on John Walker's face, they wouldn't have done that to someone like Steve. I'm like, no, they would have, because they established way back, even in Age of Ultron, that they did not like Cap.
Yeah, like, because the thing is, like, there's definitely a lot of people that do not like, care for the Avengers. Like, again, in Age of Ultron, we see those robots that Tony Stark has. All those people in Sokovia are like legitimately like pissed at those robots. They're just throwing stuff at it. Yeah. Right. So, like the Avengers, while they do good, there are at least a good chunk of people that aren't big fans of them, and because they sometimes are kind of leaving a bit of destruction in their wake.
Heck, in one deleted scene from Age of Ultron, there was a scene where Cap got off the Quinjet and he was about to put his helmet on, but then he saw like a graffiti of Captain America, and like it was like fascist around it. Yeah. So it's like they wouldn't have liked Steve either way.
No, and I think that it even goes like, even if you're not using like stuff that's happened in the movies or whatever as justification, like you could like justify it just because he's Captain America. He represents all the good. he's supposed to represent all the good things in America.
Yeah, all the values, the dream.
Yeah, but equally as well, like there are just some people that just do not like America for all the other things that America has done in the past.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you have a superhero who just is literally like,
I'm Captain America.
yeah, like I am literally wearing the red, white, and blue and stars that represent my flag, then yeah, there's gonna be some people that like will not like him just for the sheer fact that he's representing a country that people don't like.
Which is why, like I said, Carly's whole statement really bothers me because, like, one, like I said, it makes sense for the character.
I mean, yeah, like I think that's, like I feel like it's justifiable.
Yeah, it's justifiable
for the character to do that.
Yeah, but it's such in a mean spirited way that kind of bothers me. But also because, like, if she got a chance to meet someone like Steve, then she would understand why people sort of value him.
I mean, yeah, I think that's sort of I think one of the big things about the show. I remember you talking about is that I feel like a lot of the running themes of the show is sort of like what makes Captain America Captain America.
Yeah, because a lot of people like to hate on John Walker, but if you really just go in without that preconceived hate or like saying like he's not like Steve, you kind of see like where he's coming from.
I mean, again, I think it's also just from the idea is that yeah he is not Steve, and I think the audience not liking him is also obviously sort of like stuff that probably people
it's indicative of that he's not Steve.
Yeah, there's like, and I feel like in the show obviously like both characters like Sam and Bucky and the audience are like you're not Captain America, you're not Steve.
But he exudes like a character that's like who wants to be like Steve.
Yeah, no, and I think that's sort of the character that John Walker is trying to go with. He wants to uphold that image of Captain America as much as and he'll try to do that. But obviously, he's like, especially now, is sort of like having trouble with that. It's like because he definitely feels like what made Captain America was the super soldier serum,
which isn't the case because in both in the comics and specifically, especially in the movies, it was his character that made him Captain America, wasn't the serum. I think his name was Erskine. Now that I think about it, was like we're not looking for a perfect soldier. We're looking for a good man. Steve, you're that good man.
Yeah, like literally, like clear day example is when like in the first Captain America movie, he jumps on that grenade. And granted, they sort of like John Walker himself like talks about I've
done that too.
Like I've done that too. It's like but like clearly there is a difference between them.
Yeah.
And like I think John Walker, his character like sort of like looks at Steve at a superficial level and thinks, okay, I just need to be like that.
Yeah. Which I've said this before, not in the previous episode, but between us, it makes sense for him in context. Because think about it. No one knows if you were like a regular person in the Marvel universe who didn't know Steve deeply, you would think that what made him special was the super soldier serum. So obviously someone like John Walker would feel that way, which is why when he's getting his ass beat by all these people, he's like, how can I be Captain America without having the super soldier serum?
Yeah, it's like if I just had that super soldier serum, I would be able to beat these guys.
I would be just like Cap.
Yeah,
because that's the whole idea. Is like, especially in this episode where it's really clearly stated, what does it mean? Like you said, what does it mean to be Captain America? For Carly and some of the Flag Smashers, it's someone who is an oppressor.
Yeah, and there's obviously there's other Flag Smashers like the guy who was a big fan of Captain America. It's like Cap used to mean these things, but the world is different now, and I'm not sure if we would be able to have a Cap that could handle this stuff. Yeah,
and then there's Bucky and Sam who like knew Steve and knew that what made him special wasn't the serum, it was his character, who he was. And you have Zemo who's like, we don't need any of that shit.
Yeah, like he's pretty much like, this will only lead to people who use this power to be like supremacists and who will essentially dominate the world. And we don't need that, like those people are way too dangerous. They can't be allowed to live.
And then we have John Walker, who sees it as a way to be Cap. Like throughout the series, throughout this show, they show you that John Walker is inherently not a terrible person.
No, like he does have genuinely good qualities. Like he is not a terrible dude. Like, but again, like obviously his whole character arc is that he's willing. He's so desperate to be like Cap that he's essentially doing a lot of things that are crossing the line.
Yeah, because like that's why we said Lamar was such an important character to him. That was his conscience, his guiding light, his North Star, his when I'm lost, I look to my boy Lamar. He'll lead me down the right path, because we said it, like he is the guy who brings him to, like, whenever he's doubting himself, Lamar's there to bring him back up. That's even established in the second episode. Like after he's done talking to his wife, and his wife's going like, "Go talk to him, Lamar. He'll listen to you." And he goes and talks to him and tells him, "Dude, you're the fucking Captain America now. That's awesome. You deserve this." And so that fuels, John Walker's whole character's moment.
Yeah,
because like, it's easy to say he's like an asshole because he took the role of Captain America without earning it. But I'm like, it's kind of like John Walker's thing in the comics too, so I'm not really upset about that.
I mean, obviously there's the people that I guess who are like, who don't like John Walker. Like, it's understandable, but to just completely write him off as just like the inherent bad guy is a little like presumptuous.
Yeah,
like he definitely does. I think he's gonna much like in the comics, he'll be more like an anti-hero kind of route, or like you can understand where he's coming from, but the things he does are inherently not like Cap, right?
Because like I said, he's genuinely a good guy. I mean, like, he's not doing it to be like an asshole. I think it's just the way he comes off as an asshole. Yeah, he's not really an asshole.
Like there's a way of he has a certain way of presenting himself, I guess.
Yeah.
That I think most people are kind of like, I don't like this guy. He's too full of himself.
Then you start talking to him like, oh no, he's actually kind of funny. Like, he's real cool.
Like, yeah, but obviously there's still
he would be the jock who actually is friend with the nerd.
I guess, but he would still do a lot of bad things. Yeah. Right. But that's sort of John Walker. That's sort of like, I think, and why am I guess I am looking forward to what we're gonna see now.
Because like John Walker, like I said, John Walker is not inherently a bad character. He's not inherently a bad guy. This is like the moment where, like, we as the audience, if you actually pay attention to all the stuff that's going on in the story, you can see sort of this as a tragic downfall. Yeah, like,
this was a, I guess you could call it, like, this is sort of the moment in a Greek tragedy, right? Where a character who genuinely has done good things, but has a character flaw. This is the moment where that character flaw shines, and now it's like essentially his downfall.
Yeah, because you can tell that he loves his country, he loves his wife, and he really loves his best friend. So like, he's not like a terrible person.
Yeah, he's not completely irredeemable, but now he's essentially crossed the line and is
become unredeemable.
Yeah,
because like that shot of him holding a bloody shield, that's gonna go down in a lot of ways. Yeah, because like a lot of people are like, "Oh man, see, this is why he's the horrible Cap," and I'm like, "No, this isn't proof that he's a horrible Cap. This is a proof of his downfall."
I mean, yeah, but he's also a horrible Cap.
He is a horrible Cap. Okay, I'm not denying that, but I'm like,
but it's more. There's more to it than just that. Oh, he was the wrong guy to be Cap. It's like, no, like, he could have been like a good Cap, but the choices he's made in his life have ultimately led to a point where he's done the one thing that you probably shouldn't do as Cap.
And I mean, like, I think it wouldn't have gone down that way if maybe Bucky and Sam were more like were more understanding.
I get that. I get that idea because obviously they're very sort of hostile.
Yeah.
Because obviously they still sort of have that sentiment of like,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
You don't deserve the shield.
yeah,
You don't. You're not what he represents. And granted, that's totally understandable, and I get it. But it's weird how it's like at that one moment where they all just kill this one guy, everyone just stops. I'm like, oh shit, we killed someone. I'm like, wait, you guys been killing this whole time? Are you just now like talking mostly for the Flag Smashers? I'm like, are you guys just now like noticing your your actions have consequences?
to be fair, like I'm pretty positive they weren't killing people originally
Yeah.
because obviously,
Well, I mean, okay, I'll say that more for Carly then.
like Carly, kind of. But then again, when you look at least from what the scenes we have seen of them actually killing people, they don't see them dying. They just leave them there to die, right?
Fair enough. This is where they actually just notice, like, oh shit, we're actually killing people.
And I'm pretty sure all the other Flag Smashers as well have never actually killed a man with their bare hands or like knives or whatever. They just sort of beat people up for the most part who get in their way. So, yeah, like this is like the first legitimate time, like, oh shit, we just killed a dude. Right? So, I don't know. Either way, we get a solid. This episode is obviously like really good.
It's a really good episode, and like I'll say this, I'm really loving, John Walker's character arc, even if I feel like no one's been paying attention to it.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I guess you can understand why you would
Say that.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I would agree that it is interesting. But of course, the show is not about John Walker. It's about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Which I'm wondering how that's gonna play out, because like it could easily be like, we just take the shield from him, or like, at some point John's like, okay, I don't deserve this. Sam, just take it.
Or he's like, fuck you, it's mine. I am Captain America.
Yeah. Which I can totally see that happening.
Especially since now he does have the super soldier serum. Like, I mean, is the government actually going to try to rein him in? Or is he like, fuck you guys, I do what I want?
Or, and I know they've been teasing this, they could make him one of the members for the Thunderbolts. The Marvel's answer to the Suicide Squad.
I mean, technically, yeah, I guess. They are sort of in the comics, there are basically just a team of like supervillains that are made. I guess like not really supervillains, but more sort of like villains that are close to being like good or anti-heroes and stuff like that.
I mean, I'll be down for that.
Well, I mean, if anything, if it gives me General Ross as the Red Hulk, then I'm.
Do you really want this Ross as the Red Hulk though?
Absolutely.
Fair enough. All right, guys. I guess. Do you want to rate these 2 episodes, or do you just want to wait till the last 2 to come out?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, both episodes are solid. This recent episode's really good. But I guess if you want to just hold out for like just our rating for the show itself,
I feel like that's probably the best.
Yeah, because there's still 2 more episodes, and we can definitely see. It's gonna be very interesting how we sort of wrap all this up.
Yeah, in 2 episodes. That's really, I feel like that's the problem. Like, the fact that it's 2 episodes.
Oh, like.
I feel like at least one more episode would have been nice.
I mean, write a letter to fucking Disney, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, man, I ain't got time to read my letters. But anyways, yeah. Thanks, guys, for taking us to listen to. If you want to continue listening to us or check us out, what we do have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Geek Centurions. Just type the Geek Centurions on any of those 3 platforms. If you go to Instagram, where we're more, active, you'll find a link tree to all the podcasting sites that we are affiliated with. So like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all that good stuff. And you'll also find a link to our YouTube, so you can, for all you audio listeners out there, you can put a face to the voice and, just enjoy how we talk a bit with a face now. And, if you're on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All the good stuff that, YouTube is known for. And we do have a Patreon, so you can at least support us in whatever way possible and help us, do stuff that we want to do. And yeah, that's about it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know if I would say. I think by the end of by the next episodes, we'll talk about which one was better for us, WandaVision or this.
I mean,
I know they're two different shows, but like, in terms of like how it ends.
I mean, I guess yeah, that's a decent comparison. Yeah. But I was gonna say that, like, I guess it'd be kind of hard because these are two very fundamentally different shows that
which. Okay, I can say this right now. That's part of the reason why I love them both equally.
I mean, yeah, they serve two vastly different purposes, but they both have their points. Like I guess it'd be more. I don't know. I don't really know what show you can compare WandaVision to.
Yeah. I
guess I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I don't blame you. So thanks, guys, for taking a chance to listen to us. Be sure to have a good time out there. Be safe. Stay safe, and yeah, it's been your boy.
It's been me, Joe,
and your boy Eli, and we are the Geek Centurions. And like I said, be safe, have a good time, stay healthy and strong. We are the Geek Centurions, and we're signing out. Peace.